Grace and peace. Welcome to Find the Intersection. My name is Paul Dezay, and today we're going to be talking about Isaiah 60, the first 6 verses. Isaiah 60, the first 6 verses. If you get a sec, go read that passage in a couple translations, and then come back here and we'll chat about it. All right, see ya. All right, welcome back. So today we're talking about Isaiah 60. So let's start with the context of this passage. The writer, the prophet, is speaking to a group of people that are in exile. They're in Babylon. Everything that they own and love has been destroyed, so they are now slaves in another city. Everything that's important to them seems to have been erased, and so they hunger for the day of restoration. And so the writer, Isaiah, is communicating to that group of people in exile. And when they end up coming back from exile, things aren't the way that they hoped it would be. There's a lot of corruption. And so that's the context. It's written to people who have been in exile. And so there is this sense of hope that the writer will communicate. All right, so a few things that jumped out to me in this passage is the metaphors of light and darkness. There is this thick darkness that they know they've experienced in exile. Things aren't the way that they are meant to be, and they know that. And then the writer communicates this light that has come, and that now this light, this love of God is residing within them. And the author is telling them to wake up and see the light in the midst of the darkness. Now, we think of light, we think of kind of like a light switch automatically come on and bright and everything. But I believe that the author is more communicating a progressive light that gets brighter and brighter and brighter. And so we need to see that, see the light that's getting brighter, the dawn that is coming from the night of darkness. So that's the first thing that jumped out to me. The second thing is that the nations will come to the light. The nations will come to the light. It even says in verse number 8, it says, they will bring gold and frankincense and shall proclaim the praise of the Lord. The nations will come. The kings will come to the light of God's people. They will come to Jerusalem, to Zion, to where God is. And so that's a reversal in the sense of the nation shall come to them instead of them going to the nations. It's just very interesting in the fulfillment of the wise men coming to see the baby Jesus. And so that's pretty cool. Another thing is this context of shining forth, getting connected back to the mission of Israel, of God's people, to being a light to the Gentiles, living in such a way that is differently, reflecting who this God is. And so there is a kind of a message of shining amongst God's people, reflecting the God in which we worship. And so those are things. There's a lot more in there. So I'm very curious to what stood out to you. And in all ways, we want to apply these passages to our lives. We want to do what the Isaiah, the author, is saying, to look around us to see the light, because the light is shining. And yes, there is darkness. But once we grab hold of that light and experience it for ourselves, we are called to reflect that light back out to the dark world. And so, we have to apply that to our lives. So I'm curious to what that means to you, this passage, the application of the passage. So if you would share in the comments what stood out to you from this passage of Isaiah 60, 1 to 6, and I'd like to learn from you. And that's the way this works, is we all share our reflections from these passages. We share our applications and our testimonies, and we allow God to work within the community here at Find the Intersection. So share your thoughts below, and we'll see you tomorrow as we talk about the Psalm for this week. Take care, everybody.